HHDG. Peace, HHDG. We're on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. Big shout out to everyone that's been tuning in, always supporting, sharing, liking, commenting throughout social media. Big respect. And also through our Facebook group, HHDG, which is Hip Hop Discussion Group. As you can see on our bottom banner, you can go to our website, hhdgmedia.com, for some of our previous interviews. We have a new written interview up there with Swedish producer Interstellar, who dropped his album Clockwork last month on the 24th, and upcoming events, as well as our merch. It's always made possible through our company, HHDG Media Inc., which is our 5 owners, members, family, Rock Vader KB, Skelly Top, T. Smith, the Mayor, and myself, Wiki. For tonight, we have a multi-talented returning guest who has a great work ethic, and the energy he has is definitely inspiring. He a love of animals shows in his music, shows in the upcoming album that's going to be dropping on December 5th, 14 Styles of Breathing. If you're a Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba fan, you definitely know what that's all about. And the new single, Miss Breathing, dropped on the 19th. Definitely fits, the whole vibe of everything that our upcoming guest personifies, and it definitely fits the concept of the album title too. We'll get into that. We'll also get into the challenge that he did. We were just talking about his work ethic. That challenge that he did in that short amount of time is amazing. Not anyone can go and put forth all of that together in such a short time. And it'll definitely break down that challenge when we get to speak with him. Also, talk about his new home in Oregon. See how everything's been up there because last time we spoke, he had just recently moved up there. So we'll definitely find out about that as well. And once again, it's always great to have a returning guest, and it's always great to know that they're out there determined and putting forth their talents in what they have. And he's going to continue to show that, and he's going to let us know more insight into the upcoming album. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce once again Bboy Ninja.
Thank you for having me again. What is happening, y'all?
Absolutely.
Good to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. Good. How's it been over there in Oregon since everything right now? You completely settled in now?
So, as in my music, life of a starving artist, always struggling. It was going. And, I was starting to get back on my feet, and then some stuff happens. So now I'm going to be moving again.
Oh.
Yeah. But, I'm handling it well. I'm staying strong and probably going to get some, new music out of this.
Okay. All right. At least you're keeping it positive. That's good to hear.
Trying to, doing my best.
That's good. That's good. Very good. Now, again, for those tuning in, if you haven't heard the previous interview with Bboy Ninja, definitely go check that out and get more insight into his many talents. And once there, the love of animals. which is personified in his spirit animal recordings.
Oh yes. This right here is the mascot you'll see for spirit animals. All right, you can go back. You know.
So let's talk about this Yonkers challenge.
Yes.
What made you want to, go into it? And it's definitely, even though they say it's a challenge, with the whole trend and everything, but it truly is a challenge for a talented person like yourself to see what your limits are and how far you can push yourself. So, take us through.
Yeah, so for the Yonkers remix, so there's kind of two parts to that. The first part, which is what initiated this, is I saw on Reason there was like a challenge initiated of someone like just remaking the beat, and it was like pretty simple because a lot of those sounds are like stock in Reason or whatever. So it's just like knowing the notes, and I was like, that's cool, but why don't we take that a step further? So I was like, let's completely remix it, make it from scratch, instrumental, and then also write lyrics, record it, master it all, and throw it together. So I did that, but what also popped into my head was I had remixed Yonkers years ago, like back in high school, but like listening to it, back then, like it's hard to like a lot of my older stuff sometimes. So I was like, that's garbage. So let me do a little fun take on that. I'm gonna sample it for the intro, and then just go off it from there, and show like kind of my growth of where I've come in probably like, I don't know, about 10 years now, almost 11 maybe.
All right. Now, have you ever challenged yourself like that before? Before because you say you did it in high school, but what about before that?
Yeah, I've always just like would randomly throw challenges for myself here and there. Like I've done like, okay, let me see what kind of beat I can do in an hour, or what kind of beat I can do in like 20 minutes, and stuff like that. Just random things just to one, challenge myself, but also be able to push myself and see like, can I do that if I ever needed to, type thing. And then in doing that, it also helped me like push my work ethic to know how to do certain like tedious things quicker, and so I could focus more on like the actual music part of it and like the melodies and vocals and all that.
Okay. Cool. Now, when you did this challenge, as far as the time, did you have a set time that you wanted to meet in that whole criteria?
Not particularly. I knew I definitely wanted to do it quick. Like I don't want to spend like, weeks or months on it. So I tried to give myself of like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and do this in probably like 3 or 4 sessions. And in, each of those sessions, I'm gonna try and make the whole thing go over like not like maybe more than 5-6 hours tops. So that was kind of my goal, and luckily I hit that in like half the time roughly. And yeah, I just kind of was like, all right, that's my challenge, is see who can make a beat as well as write the lyrics, record it, and master it all by yourself. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun idea. So shout out to Reason for kind of initiating this idea.
Sorry. So with Reason, because I started looking into it. Have they had this often, aside from the one that you saw beforehand? Because I was trying to look for something, I didn't really see much.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a couple of random little things here and there, like, oh, here's how this particular sound was made or something like similar kind of things, but I don't know if they do that like super often. And it was just one that I happened to catch. And because I actually, like Tyler's music and that song in particular, I was like, okay, I'm actually feeling this one. This sounds like a challenge for me. So, but I'm not sure if they do more stuff like that. I'm trying to at least make it more of a thing, and I'm going to see if there's other little things I could do for a reason on there, challenge them out.
So let's talk about, before we talk about the first single, Miss Breathing.
Yes.
Let's talk about 14 Styles of Breathing and why you wanted to come with this concept album.
Yeah. So, one, I had been watching Demon Slayer, as it's been like coming out and stuff. And since like the Rengoku arc, which spoilers, but if y'all haven't seen it, his death in that was just it was so epic. It was a fucking scene. So since then I've been like wanting to do something Demon Slayer themed. And then after like months of finally think about it, trying to like come up with a project, I was like, okay, I kind of like the idea of like all the different breathing styles. And that kind of works with me versus how I, as in the last interview we did, my style is very much, I like to say, is like Bruce Lee and Jeet Kune Do. Like I learn all these different styles and then take what works for me and put it into my own. So I looked at each breathing technique as like a different like rap flow and style, as well as a different philosophy on top of it to put to that. And in breaking down the tracks, I think there's like maybe one or two other breathing styles I might have missed, but in breaking down the tracks, I picked out all the different breathing styles that I liked. And then from there, I kind of worked on what philosophy makes sense with each breathing style. And then what story I kind of wanted to tell within that.
That's dope. So with that being said, how did you study each breathing style and incorporate it for each track?
So, and y'all can actually kind of check this out on like my Instagram. I posted it. There's track details I made with each one and what each one represents. So the first track in there, Secret 15 style, that's the intro skit I made for the song. Where it's supposed to feel like basically like an epic moment in an anime, like just one of the climax where things about to go off. And in that, my secret style I like to call peaceful chaos breathing, which is kind of how I feel being a Pisces. Like you have this perfect balance, but it's also like a perfect contradiction. And so in that, it kind of represents the darkness and light working together, and then using that to fight like irredeemable foes and just all the wrongs and darkness in life. And then from there, there's the sun breathing, which is used for like fighting negativity and toxicity in life. I have beast breathing for the Behead song, which is fighting for like injustice and corruption in multiple forms, like not just societal and like law, but also like within hip hop and like, vultures and people like tainting minds and not using, more substance in the music and being more of like just kind of dumbing down the music and the people who listen to it, I feel. And then for Amber Nights, that one I used flower breathing, which is kind of, I relate it to when you're up late at night and just like having those, when your mind's running with multiple thoughts and stuff and you're kind of just smoking back, thinking about things. We got mist breathing, which is for war and peace, balancing the two sides. Water breathing, which is for maintaining your peace and clarity. New wave, which I used wind breathing, which is for a renewal of self and overcoming struggles in life. You are everything is love breathing, which is used for fighting for love. Breath of the moon is moon breathing, of course, and that is for fighting anxiety and depression. Stone armor is for stone breathing, which is for fighting generational issues and being your own foundation. Flame breathing or fire style, which is the flame breathing for strength, will, and conflict. Then we have sword cast algorithm. That is for thunder breathing, which is for breaking the algorithm and awakening others. We have insects in school, which is for insect breathing, which is for fighting issues within education and preserving knowledge. Censorship, which you guys have heard that single. That is sound breathing, which is for fighting against the destruction of free speech and thought. And then serpent breathing, which is for shinobi warfare and defeating the corrupt. I got real detailed with breaking down each of those tracks and making this.
Yeah, you did. That's dope, though. I like that.
Thank you.
When it comes to, a lot of people that are into music, when they incorporate anime, it's, I'm not going to say it's cliche, but it sounds like it's too cut and paste. It doesn't sound too organic. Like, of course, being a big fan, you want to have it in a certain way, but then there's artists that put too much of the anime into the music and not more of their creativity of their own talents into the music.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that, especially for me, because like before even the music, like as a kid, like I love dancing and like skateboarding stuff, but like I felt like the main thing I loved doing was writing. I used to love writing stories, and that's how I got into rapping, was through writing. And so in this, like every time I write an album, I'm writing not just music, I'm writing an anime, I'm writing a movie, I'm writing a TV show, I'm pictures in my head. Like there's very clear vision when I go about my albums or projects in general, I'd say. And because I have this love for anime, but also have like a love for history and science and philosophy and martial arts and all this other stuff. So I try, and whenever I use like, a piece of media, I try and connect it to those other things. And so they all seem to get seamlessly fit together, which is kind of how I feel like my life comes together in my music.
Nice. My next thing is, and you had a poll for this, the album cover.
Yeah.
What made you want to go with that type of cover with the breathing and everything with the side profile?
One, it was I wanted to reflect the misbreathing cover, where that was how I always said, like in the last interview, there's always me as an artist in the real life, but then there's me, the comic book or anime character. The misbreathing album was like the anime version versus this would be the real me. So it was kind of like a reflection, since that was to kind of sneak peek the album more or less. And just thinking about it, I was like, well, it's going to be Demon Slayer themed. So I want to have that kind of look where that's why I chose, like, I'm walking through a forest, I got the outfit on and everything. And then I just thought, like, well, it's cold out here. So, there's going to be fog come from my mouth when I breathe. But then I was like, I want to make sure, like, I really get that effect so I could have that, some breathing effect to kind of represent the anime. And so I took a wax pen, took a big hit, blew it out, and then did some fun little effects to turn it blue. And yeah, slowly put the cover together, let people choose like which frame and then which edit I made out of the 3 edits. And yeah, that would be a good way to build hype, as well as I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use personally. So I was like, I'll let everyone pick from the 3 I made, and that way I don't have to decide.
Got you. Now with the track list, and this is why I wanted to ask you, when you were breaking down the different breathings, what's the sequence that you were explaining them to us earlier, is that how it is on the album as well?
Yeah, correct.
Cool. And big shout out to the whole Swordcast fam. You
Oh
know,
yeah, big shout out.
they're always very supportive of each other's work because there's so many talented musicians, producers, and even everything else outside of music within the fam. But
Oh,
I noticed you have Black Mugen on here, Agent Smith 78. So take us through, getting them on there.
well, I don't know if I could say this the first part, but there's something in the Swordcast that's being worked on, and through that, that's how I got Black Mugen, Agent Smith. We were working on some stuff. I'm like, hey, can we throw this on the album? And they're like, yeah, of course. I was like, for sure. So then I threw it on there. So big shout out to them for jumping on this. They gave me some dope shit for this, and I definitely felt like they were the right fit for this album too. Like everything from Agent Smith's beats was like the perfect hip hop vibe I needed for that, as well as Black Mugen's verses was the right type of lyrical shit I needed for the Swordcast algorithm. So having them two on there was definitely dope. Big shout out to Swordcast. Y'all should follow them. Go follow Black Mugen. Go follow Agent Smith for sure. It's definitely got some dope shit you guys will love if you like my shit.
Definitely. Now I noticed a name that I'm not sure everyone is familiar with. Is that Mac Mall from the Bay Area?
Why, yes, it is the
Okay.
legendary motherfucking Mac Mall. Man, that's a dream come true right there. I still can't even believe it. It's wild.
You gotta tell us that story.
Yeah, so it's funny because definitely was not a planned feature for the album. It was a last minute thing, and oh boy, was I thrown for a loop. So there I was going through the struggle, like trying to get ready to move and everything. I wasn't working at the time, had no money, and I see Mac Mall posts on Instagram. He was doing features, and I'm like, fuck, of course, right now. I'm like, this, it just doesn't line up right now. But I was like, you know what? Let me hit him up. Let me see if this is like a normal thing. We talk a little bit, and long story short, from all my fans and like friends and stuff, they helped me secure the feature. All I had to do was pick the beat. I added another verse and I sent it to him, and then a few weeks later I got it back, and man, it was
Wow.
It was a dream come true. He's been someone that like I've been listening to all my life, and when I like told my mom that too, she was like, "What? No way!" Like her mind was blown. She's like, "Oh my god, you gotta tell him I said hi. This is crazy." So yeah, that is definitely something that is super exciting, and I'm proud of to have. And working with him was just dream come true is the best way to describe that.
That's crazy. So what was running through your mind when he actually got back to you?
Oh, man, so many things. Like first, like I was just like, man, this is my idol right here. Like I gotta make sure like I'm professional, I'm respectful. So, like I was just trying to make sure like, yo, don't do anything to fuck it up and make him hate you. And of course, and then that's the anxiety side. But then like, the kid in me was just like, oh my fucking god, like this is Mac Mall. Like you're gonna work with Mac Mall. This is fucking crazy. So I was definitely wild inside. But of course I played it cool. I was like, yo, pleasure to meet you. Like, thank you so much for working with me. And yeah, I was in shock for a few days, like going through all the stuff I was going through. For that like next few weeks, I was riding high. I didn't care about nothing. But yeah, it's a wild experience. And after working with novelists and now Mac Mall, it got me a little hungry, and I'm coming for some more features. Y'all be ready.
It is.
I got a few in
Yep.
mind already.
That's great. Let that be an example of people that listen. Never sell yourself short, because you never know. If you don't ask, you never know what the outcome might be.
For real. I forget there's a phrase, but yeah, 100% of the chances you don't take, like, you don't get. So just fucking take that chance, because you never know. And that's what happened for me. I just took that chance, and the stars aligned, you know? You want it sometimes bad enough, it'll fucking happen.
Definitely. Now I'm gonna see if I can play the single "Miss Breathing," but before we get into that, when I first listened to the production, it reminded me of novelists and heroes, Fabian and Shibuya.
Oh,
It had that.
great
It had
song.
that calmness to it, that peacefulness to it. But yet, his lyrics were still powerful, the way yours are on "Miss Breathing."
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I take that as a big compliment, because, yeah, novelist and hero are definitely two big inspirations for me, and they always be putting out stuff that like makes me like, fuck, I need to come up with something dope now, you know? So big shout out to them.
So take us through "Miss Breathing." What was your concept when you came with the production? What you wanted to talk about in here? Because you gave us a glimpse when you were breaking down the 14 style.
Yes. So that was at the point when like I had censorship already, and that was about to come out, and I was, trying to get this one started. And these were basically like, I knew they were gonna lead to the album, but I
Mhm.
didn't fully know what the album was gonna be. So I was like, I know censorship was less of a like anime themed and more like just like real, if that makes sense. So Misbreathing, I was like, okay, I want this one to be more of the anime theme, so you kind of get the two sides of what the album's gonna like sound like. And in doing that, I was like, okay, uh, in recent watches, I had watched Demon Slayer, and Murichiro's character was just super dope to me with the misbreathing aspect and just like the way everything happened. And it's been a minute since I watched, but I just remember this one scene where he goes to kill one of the enemies, and then he realized like the person that he's about to kill isn't as bad as he thinks, and they're kind of just following because they have to. So he switches his attack to end it so that it's like a peaceful death and it doesn't hurt. And I was kind of like stunned by that. I was like, wow, that's like a really fucking powerful moment. So like kind of hit me like that, like misbreathing. That's something that can be for war, but can also be for peace. And so that's how that concept started to come about. And then eventually I just like was sitting there. I was, I threw on Demon Slayer while I was making the beat, and I was just trying to like search for sounds for a minute, and slowly like I started grabbing the melody. Once I got that, I was like, okay, cool. Started making a drum kit. Eventually got the bass line down. And then, yeah, as the beat started to come together and I was cleaning up, then I just started writing the lyrics like a few days later, eventually recorded it. And then, yeah, after I think I recorded it, that's when I started to really start to come together with what the album was going to be.
Nice. Yeah, I'm still working on trying to get it to play.
No worries.
So while I'm still working on that, tell us about when you first saw part one of Infinity Castle,
Infinity Castle?
the Demon Slayer film.
Oh, that's right. Shit, is that the most recent? Because if it is, I haven't seen it.
No. Don't
Yeah.
tell me.
Oh my God, that's right. I haven't. Last I saw was the Hashira training.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little behind at the moment. Yeah, I need to catch up. I know. Don't hate me, y'all. Don't hate me.
I'll just tell you, you won't be disappointed at all from beginning to end.
That's what everyone's saying. I'm like, fuck. Ooh. Yeah, I definitely need to watch that soon.
And if there's anywhere that might be showing in theaters, definitely go check it out and get that experience.
Yeah, you actually right about that because I was thinking about that when I saw the the Rengoku death. I was like, damn, this would have been so dope in theaters.
Let's talk about skateboarding. I found I don't remember his actual name on IG, but once I found him, um, he's a skateboarder, but a lot of his reels are, I guess he checks out to see what type of talent is out there, and he posts them and puts up their IG page.
Oh,
And
sick.
some of these people are really amazing from what I've been seeing.
Nice.
I'll definitely send you the his page once I find it again. But I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
the talent and creativity that's still being pushed out there is amazing. I mean, I've never personally been that great at it, but I've known a few people growing up, and to see how a lot of the youth are nowadays, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah. I love skating. I was only ever okay, but man, I whatever I could do was just dope enough, and especially watching others, I was just like, fuck. They do they do some, and it inspired me and be like, all right, now I got to go do something.
Tell us about your promo that you set up for the album.
So I got out here and I seen that there was a skate park not far away, and it was like super dope looking. And after skating, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, this would actually be kind of a cool spot to film like some promo vids. And then yeah, when I was getting the album together, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go record some skate clips and make promo for the album. And then yeah, I put that together. And man, I'm garbage. It's been so long since I skated. I was happy I got any clips. I'll just tell you all that right now. So don't expect nothing special. Be happy I didn't break my bones.
Now it's pretty good, and you did all the video editing as well.
Yeah, yeah. I pretty much handle everything. Even now, I just started doing the mastering all by myself, which before I was using eMastered. But starting with 14 Styles of Breathing, this will be the first project that I mastered myself.
Nice, nice. You picking up on it pretty well.
It's coming together. It's a little bit of a challenge, not gonna lie, but it's like for producing and rapping and everything else, I've always had more hands-on training. Mastering though was something that I never like was sat down with my uncle or my dad yet and got to learn. So this is something that I'm just kind of having to learn on my own off like YouTube and just trial and error. And that's kind of what this was, this trial and error for the next project, which I'll have in February, which I think I learned a lot in this next single I'm going to be producing in February is going to show that growth.
Nice. My next thing about the album is, being that you have the visual promo and that you're a DJ, did you think of doing a little type of teaser type of mix or snippet or anything?
um there actually is a couple. Let me see. I think one of them is out. But yeah, if you guys look closely, you will see some of those tracks in a few mixes. I believe one of the mixes, it's either out or about to come out. It's called Behead Algorithms, but you can catch Behead on there as well as Swordcast Algorithm featuring Black Mugen. But yeah, if you guys watch closely, you get a lot more sneak peeks than you realize. I like to be extra rewarding for the fans who are always there, you know.
Definitely gotta take a look at that. Trying to pick up your YouTube real quick. Okay.
There it is, guys. There's one of them. See that picture? Just look for Behead Algorithms.
Being that you didn't watch the movie yet, I'm trying to keep back from saying certain things.
I know. Don't hate me. I'll be on it soon. Hopefully after I move, or maybe even actually while I'm on vacation in December. Maybe I'll try and watch it up there.
If you were to have any of these breathing techniques, which one would it be?
Mist breathing easily. To me, that is so dope, and that most represents me. One, I'm a water sign, so you know that easily it has to be something with water. But two, I think mist, it works with my style a lot more as far as what I've seen in the show of how Murichiro uses it. So I think that one definitely would be the one I'd want. Although sun breathing, close second.
Close second, all right. Now, as far as the production, are we going to hear similar to the first single, or you gave a wide array of your production style?
I'd say there's about 3 styles you'll hear on there. The single Censorship kind of represents more of the I want to say the beats that like Agent Smith used in Line for Me. It's got that very much like bumpy hip hop feel. But then there's this other more, I don't know how to explain it, but more of just kind of my stuff, my vibe of the beats when it comes to the hip hop. And then there's also a few trap beats in there mixed in too. So you're getting a wide array for all different listeners. You know, you got stuff for the hip hop heads, but also some stuff for the trap heads.
All right. Cool. All right, so I got the single up in Spotify, so let me see if I can get this to play.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Hold on. I think I know what happened. All right.
Misbreeding focus is center for peace. Misbreeding focus is center for war/swift. Like the mist now leaving deceased. Death before the sun, I'm the warrior coming for more. Misbreeding focus is center for peace. Misbreeding focus is center for war/swift. Like the mist now leaving deceased. Death before the sun, I'm the warrior coming for more. Study the soul's major history, facts and grain. Killing them all, just honor my family and never wane. Breaking the code, not ninja will never be seen. Taking a breath, I hold it in, now embrace the pain. Breathe it out, let it go. Now step, slice, attack, misbreathing. I said on myself, I got attack. One side are of peace, while the other is an art of war. Shadow flames till I die, cause I hold it down at my core. Full of the samurai, go master the ninja. Can beat under the moon and the Bushido winner. Got a sword from Kusanagi, I unleash my Susano. Time I burst with the hands of the iron fist, ho. Secret G-Sword, take you out like Nobukatsu. A sword hands of blade on my back, you know I got you. I know myself to fight back, there's the enemy in my blade. I know my strength and weaknesses and secured off once by trade. Misbreathing focus is center for peace. Misbreathing focus is center for war / swift like the mist now leaving deceased. Death before the sun, I'm the warrior coming for more. Misbreathing focus is center for peace. Misbreathing focus is center for war / swift like the mist now leaving deceased. Death before the sun, I'm the warrior coming for more. In the midst of my skin, it's like being reborn. Focused out, take change, take out the demon born. Seeking the higher self, so I can rise to the calling of hero. Work to be a true person, so I can make it all clear though. But if I want to defeat the darkness, I must harness it. Like Itachi Uchiha, this arc is silently writ. But I must be as careful at the end as I am in the beginning. To cut the corrupt, that I must see the trimming. I could be the 5 elements, I know that I'm feeling it. Outward up, I'm the avatar, I just had to train a bit. I used to study knowledge, disciplined in Hagakure. No matter the circumstance, I always set to win when I play. I seek more by using art to change the save the universe. It's a burden to have it, feel as complex as my curse. But nothing could be worse than not fighting the word of the spot. But that is the reason I used to make my enemies drop. Misbreathing focus is center for peace. Misbreathing focus is center for war / swift like the mist now leaving deceased. Death before the sun, I'm the warrior coming for more. Misbreathing focus is center for peace. Misbreathing focus is center for war / swift like the mist now leaving deceased. Death before the sun, I'm the warrior coming for more. Let's go.
And that was the first single, Misbreathing. I put the link in the comments so y'all can definitely go out there, check it out, and also support that. And also put the link to pre-save 14 Styles of Breathing.
Yeah, you guys definitely want to save that one, trust me.
Now, I noticed in your promos, you have the vinyl. Are you considering doing that?
One day, yes, I definitely do want to get some vinyls made. I probably would do some like specials once I get to that point where I could do, you know, like a handful, maybe like some amount, sign them all, and then, you know, send them out to whoever wants to buy them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably go back as well and pick like just a few of my favorite projects to like release out on a, you know, maybe like 100 to 300 copies.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely something I like to do in the future.
Cool. You should check out the company Elastic Stage. I think they do vinyl on demand. So
for sure.
Yeah, I would check them out.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to then.
Music videos. What do we have coming up?
At the moment, I don't have any like started yet, but I have a couple I think I'm gonna try and do after this next move now. I know I want to get one for water breathing off 14 Styles of Breathing, and maybe also Behead. And then I also definitely want to have a music video for this next single I'm going to be putting out in February.
Okay.
But yeah, I got a few in mind coming up.
Next up, since we're gonna stay into anime for a little bit. Anything you currently watching?
Ooh, anime wise, what have I watched? I've been going through Shippuden again, trying to, because I know what happens. I've seen a lot of it, but I've never watched it all the way through. So I'm finally trying to get that experience, which I think I think I'm just about to be on season 5 right now. So I still got a ways to go, but I made a good chunk into it now. And I was thinking about starting Terraformers, because that was on Hulu.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to watch that a while back, but they only had it in subbed. And I know some people are all about the subs, but I multitask, so I need the dubbed. I need to be able to pack a bowl or, talk to my dog and still know what's going on. So I didn't watch it because of that. But now that I've seen that's got dubbed, I'm like, okay, I can finally check it out. Cool. So those are my like 2 anime things that I'm kind of working on.
Okay.
You been watching any new ones?
Gotcha Yakuda.
I don't think which one's that?
How would I explain it? They have it's like 2 tiers of a civilization. One at the top, and then people at the bottom. The people at the bottom are usually those that have been outcasted and tossed off down there and everything. And if you watch it, there's certain creatures and people with certain types of powers. You'd have to watch the trailer. I don't want to give away too much.
That sounds dope, and also really fucking like deep.
But
like
the main character gets
society.
accused. Yes, the main character gets accused of murder, so they toss him over.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out. That sounds kind of dope.
And then he starts to develop his powers and everything.
Nice.
The other thing I was watching. What was I watching?
It's not anime, but I did just recently watch All of Us Are Dead on Netflix. It's like a Korean zombie show. And that one was that was pretty dope. I was fucking with that one. So I'm definitely waiting for a season 2. And then I finally just finished Squid Game season 3.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Ugh, see, that's how crazy it was, guys. It made me lose my headphones. I don't want to spoil nothing for who hasn't seen it, but yeah, that fucking oh my god, that show broke my heart too many times.
I'm telling you, these people that write this stuff are amazing. I couldn't think of half of this stuff that they do.
Dude, yeah, especially the Korean shows on Netflix. I've been fucking with heavy. They're really good. I've been like binge watching a lot of those series lately.
And aside from your album, you got some promo going on. And that is Yakking Space Bombing.
Yes. Okay. So we switch to my alternate persona here. So for those of you who don't know, Bboy Ninja is my hip-hop alias. But I also make a lot electronic music under the name Omnipotent and Omnipresent. I just released Yakking Space Vomit, which is also the first mastered album by me and not E-Master. And it is super dope. Check it out. Catch a few Mac Mall samples on there, y'all. And yeah, these 2 albums that I just dropped under each alias are kind of like my my next evolution after everything that happened, moving him to Oregon. It was kind of like my like a building myself up album,
Mhm.
if you will.
Yeah. The thing about listening to different genres of music is it gives you a certain vibe and emits a certain emotion out of you. So at times, the hip hop might be there, but the electronic might be a different vibe that give you a whole different, perspective and the way you're going through your day.
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure. It's not even electronic music because I listen to everything, but I'm sure there's many of you out there who probably listen to hip hop, but also listen to maybe rock or
Mhm.
classical or jazz or whatever, and that's just what that is for me. Hip hop gives me this one feeling, but electronic music just gives me this other feeling. Just I'm not one without the other, and
Yeah.
now I got two personas because of that.
Yeah, for a while, I used to go to sleep listening to drum and bass.
Yeah, that's my soul right there. I love me some drum and bass. That's my dad and my uncle. That was like their stuff right there, and they got me into that from since I was a baby.
Nice, nice.
And it's funny because my mom hates drum and bass. She's probably watching this and laughing now, but yeah, it's funny. That's a me, my dad, and uncle thing. Although there's a few tracks that she's heard that she liked, but yeah,
Okay.
overall, she's not a big fan of drum and bass. She's definitely more of like house and dubstep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I dig that too. Yep. So how does it feel? Because I know at times, being that you're talking about the two different perspectives, when you go into making the music, do at certain times you got to stop yourself because you feel like you're about to venture back into maybe the hip hop or vice versa?
There has definitely been moments it's hard where and I notice it has to do with like my friends I'm hanging out with at the time
Mhm.
because I have a lot of my friends, they definitely listen to both, but each friend is either they're more into hip hop or they're more into electronic music. And because I've moved so much and stuff, there's been times where I'm around friends who are like more into electronic music. So you'll definitely see me working on electronic music a lot more and listen to that. And
Okay.
then, vice versa when I've been around more like hip hop heads. And in that, it definitely is a struggle where at times like I'll get writer's block for one alias, but not the other. And all I want to do is just like make hip hop or make electronic music. But I know I love both, and I would hate myself if I ever stopped. So I force myself to. And I'm actually glad that I do because after, it sometimes will take a moment, but once I break through that threshold, then
Hmm.
something magical happens. And then I'm like, yes, okay, this is why I like this music too. And it brings me back. So I do have moments where it is kind of a struggle, but once I just break through that threshold, then I snap back into it. I'm like, nah, I'm two aliases. Like I'm doing this. It's never not going to be electronic music or hip hop. I'm always going to do both.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, a lot of independent artists, and I think it's always smart to not just with promo, but also with the actual album or EP, have something creative to go along with it, whether it be a physical product, not necessarily an album, but something that brings a memory with it, or it could be something digital. Are you having something going on like that with a 14 Styles of Breather?
Um, am I doing anything other than working on the music videos? I haven't thought of anything extra other than I do have in the back of my mind, I think I want to make a like 14 styles of breathing DJ mix. So now that you mention that, maybe I'll make that a like special gift that, you know, whoever buys the album, I'll give them I'll
There it
email
is.
them the special mix.
That's perfect.
Yeah, let me know if you guys want that.
Should put up another poll for that one.
Yeah, you're right. I should.
Now I have a question. Any of your friends that you hang out with, do they have music that you've worked with them on?
Um, I have one. I mean, if we're not counting the Swordcast, I have one friend that I've been trying to with my electronic music. We haven't been able
Okay.
to, but now we're both at a point where I think we can have something soon.
Yeah.
So there might be that. Most of my other friends I make music though, they're all in Cali, so I haven't been able to since I've been out here. And also it was kind of hard once I was in Manteca because they were more in like San Jose, Sunnyvale kind of area, so still kind of far. So right now I don't have too many people to make music with other than shout out to my boys in Wyoming, Bone C, Young Frederick, and all of them. We send like music to each other here and there and collab and stuff all the time. So, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, so I can't say who, but someone just asked me
Gotcha.
for 2 features,
Oh,
and
okay.
you know, once he mentions that, I will give you guys the mention. So I have 2 features coming out on some projects of someone else's.
All right. Cool, cool. Any comics that you're currently reading?
Um, I was collecting the oh my god, what is it called? It's the more recent Black Canary run. I think it's called like Best of the Best. And I won't give too much spoiler, but the basic plot is Black Canary goes to, I think, the like League of Assassins for basically like a Mortal Kombat kind of boxing fight match. And yeah, I got all the issues except I think the first one and the fourth one because they were all out when I went. So I literally like know the general story, but I'm trying to collect that, and then I still need to get Aliens versus Avengers and the Marvel DC crossover stuff that started coming out. So I think those are going to be my main reads for right now. Probably going to grab a couple of copies once I go down to Cali.
Yeah, the Batman Deadpool's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what everyone was telling me is super good. I also heard they had what's it called, like backups in it, and one of them was Green Arrow and Daredevil, which I've been pitching that should be a thing forever. So I'm super excited to see that. And I heard Kevin Smith was the one who did it too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, so I definitely got to get that too.
That's nice. Yeah, there's been some really surprise collaborations going on right now. But I mean, the Batman Deadpool, all these variant covers is wild right now. I mean, they have out there, and it's like every few weeks there's like a whole slew of new ones out.
I know, it's so hard not to be like, I just should buy them all. They're all so dope. It's funny, that's usually the hardest thing I have too when I go into the comic store and like we'll try and pick up an issue and I'll see they'll have like 3 or 4 variants. I'm like, well, which one do I want to get? Now you guys made it hard.
Yeah. And being a promo would be a digital comic too.
I know. Comic books is actually. I used to write like my own little comic books when I was a kid, and that's
And that's what
something
I
I
was thinking
definitely
of.
would like to break into. So if I ever do like, get enough like clout and money, I'm definitely gonna be doing some comic book stuff as well as I would like to get enough money off this so I could do really cool things like have Charlie Cox dress up as Daredevil and fight like Stephen Amell as Green Arrow as one of my music videos. And just pay for the rights for that. And then I'll just have my own Marvel DC crossovers.
That'd be great. So what's next? We got next Friday, December 5th, the album is dropping.
Yep. That is coming. Got a few mixes coming too. I think I have one in December and January that'll be coming out, as well as on December 30th, which we've talked about this song in the Swordcast before, but Daykeeper by the Foreign Exchange, I'm putting out a bootleg of that. So be ready. I flipped the beat just a little bit and then, of course, recorded some vocals. So that will be
Nice.
dropping on December 30th, and that'll be free for download on my SoundCloud. So you guys be able to cop that.
And is there going to be another single before the album drops next Friday?
Is there? Hold on. Am I tripping? No. Oh, I do have under my Omni alias a little like 2-track bootleg EP coming called Noxious Insomnia and Bootlegs. But other than that, I think that is all I have coming. Other than this new single I'm trying to finish up for February.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yeah, I have so many projects all the time. It's hard to keep track unless I look at my notes.
Yeah, keep it organized. That's all.
Oh yeah, definitely have to.
So with that being said, I think the only other thing I meant to ask you is any other podcasts coming up? I know you do them once in a while.
Yes, actually, I have one dropping tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I did with my best friend out here. In that one, we review Alien Earth as well as kind of just talk about the Alien franchise in general. We do a little comedy character TV show fantasy draft, and as the Swordcast fans are familiar with, a round of You Can Only Keep 3. So you guys can check that tomorrow, and I will be having another one with my brother I'm going to record in a few days, and then that'll probably come out, I think, in December, like beginning of December-ish, middle. And I think that's it for the Chillin' in the Wolf Den podcast. And then recently, too, you guys can check out, we did season 1 of our newest D&D game. It's called Secrets of Arcwind. So we got the first, I believe, 5 episodes up. You guys can watch that, and we plan to basically continue that one to make it like a 4-year campaign. And I think that is everything. Oh, and actually, I did almost forget. From our last interview, which you guys can check this out, when you asked me about mirrors and introvert, I didn't realize that you were asking about Introvert, my song. And I kept thinking like you were referencing me being an introvert in the song Mirrors. So I wanted to actually answer your question now, finally, since I was confused on that. The song Introvert was inspired by novelists. I believe it was Spirit Bomb, and there was one other track. But I wanted so I was like listening to that and kind of wanted to do something very similar, but kind of because a lot of people know me as an extrovert, but I think it's the Pisces in me. I'm very much both. You know, I can be introverted, I can be very extrovert. I don't feel like I'm one or the other, and so that song was kind of like explain that side of me that a lot of people don't always see.
Okay. Shout out to Novelist.
Yep. Guys, go check them out. If you don't know, now you do.
You know, for the calm person that we see in him, I don't think he realizes how much influence he's put on a lot of people throughout his career.
Nah, he is way too humble to realize how inspiring he is. That man definitely he's definitely given me a lot of inspiration, that's for sure. And not just in music, but as to want to strive to be a better person as well. It was because of him I actually read The Art of Peace, which kind of changed my life in a really big way. So
That's great. That is great.
yeah, shout out to you, Sensei.
There it is. Oh, you mentioned Alien Earth, and I don't want you to talk about it, but I am going to ask a question. Have you listened to the official Alien Earth podcast?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Trust me. You know how
Okay.
on the on a lot of the HBO series they have at the end they talk
Oh yeah,
about
yeah,
they
yeah.
well after each episode they released a Alien Earth podcast, and it was a mix of the creator and some of the actors and actresses
Oh, for
speaking on it,
sure.
and it gave a great introspect into the whole series of just stuff that you wouldn't expect.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah, no, I like seeing stuff like that, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I know it's on Spotify. I'm not sure where else it's at right now, but definitely when you get the chance, check it out.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, because when I found out about it, I was probably already 2 episodes in, and
Mhm.
then I listened to it, and then if you listen to each episode of the podcast right after watching that episode, sometimes it just blows your mind. You know, some of the stuff that they were thinking about or doing,
Yeah.
and you're thinking back at what you just watched already. So it's really good.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out then.
Once again, we have Bboy Ninja, Spirit Animals Recordings, and the album 14 Styles of Breathing is dropping next Friday, December 5th. Go check out the new single, Miss Breathing, and I will put the links up once again for y'all to go out and support that.
Yep. Definitely check them out, y'all. You're gonna love that Mac Mall feature, I promise.
So unexpected.
Yeah, I'm the only one who ever could probably get Mac Mall to rap on an anime themed track. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna just say that.
So before we go, definitely give a shout out to him once again. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
Yes, no, thank you for having me again, man. It was always a pleasure.
You can get any shout outs you want to give out to anybody out there right now?
Definitely everyone who's helped support me in this music endeavor. You know, my mom, my brothers, Amelia, Alex, everyone out there. You guys are the best. And then also shout out to my Swordcast fam and shout out to the legendary Mac Mall. And of course, shout out to you for having me.
Definitely appreciate it.
No, the pleasure's all mine.
So before we go, once again, 14 Styles of Breathing.
Yes,
Next
check it out,
Friday.
y'all. Oh my god. Check it out, y'all. You're gonna love it. I promise. I put a lot of love and passion into this one.
Definitely. And also, once again, Yak and Space Vomit as well. Go
Yeah,
check that out.
if you want some electronic shit, that shit goes hard. You'll definitely love that too. Check it out. Maybe I could put you guys on to some electronic music if you're not.
Never know, right? So on behalf of our HHDG Media crew, we're going to say peace.
Peace, y'all.